Today I'm going to show you how to do the level 145 Pillage Assault target with Photon ECMs for instant base repair. And of course, if you don't have quite full upgrades, I don't actually have all of them X1, one's at U3, but if you have a U2 fleet, this will obviously still work. You're just going to take a little bit more damage, and it might only be instant base repair. Anyway, starting out, you enter on the top right regardless of what you do. I like to charge forward and just try and kill this ghost crawler pretty quickly before it goes away from me too far. And by doing that, you want to try to engage it just after it popped up, otherwise it does go underwater and submerges and does its whole shrouded thing, which I find to be very, very annoying. There's no great way to engage those. Just try and keep moving, and you should avoid most, if not all, of the damage, and it sometimes does go off screen, but looks like I probably killed it there. Then there are a few other holes that are going to engage, and a few of these other buildings. I like to engage these yellow buildings, of which there's one up here, one in the middle, and one at the bottom of the screen. Pretty early on, if I can, I will do those before I engage these turrets, because what these things do is they increase the damage dealt by turrets. I believe it is map-wide. So even though it takes me a minute longer to come back and get this turret at the very end, another one right here, I do tend to go around the whole outside of the target, kill the ships in these buildings before I go back and engage these things. Probably not super necessary, especially if it's going to be the difference between 8 minutes and 12 minutes repair, because both of those are in base regardless. But the difference between 4 and 6, it might be significant enough for you to try out yourself. Have fun with it, experiment with it, and once those are dead, things become a little bit different. Looping around this large turret here just so I can avoid that. There's another group of ships here. This stonefish does not really do a whole ton of damage, so don't worry about that too much, and it is accuracy single target. Here's the other building, and that should trigger the other group of ships, the ghost crawler, everything else here. These small ships just stay moving away from, and that should be pretty much it. The ghost crawler is the slightly more painful one. It's going to get more complicated in a minute when we are dealing with the turrets, just be aware of that. Alright, Ghost Crawler went underwater. I want to try and stay moving away from this guy. As soon as he comes up, if I unleash a full salvo, I should have enough time to kill it before it goes back underwater just barely, and just stay moving away at a constant speed, constant heading, constant direction from that. Anyway, if we get close to a few of these platforms, things will start to pop up now, but you have to be careful because you don't know if the turret's going to be a radioactive turret or, a corrosive turret like this short-range one, which does a lot of damage, or a missile turret. It's best to surface, in place where nothing is shooting at you, but if a short-range corrosive turret is shooting at you, you want to make sure you are moving at full speed. So if I were to surface close to this one right here, I want to make sure I'm moving the entire time so that if it does shoot at me, all the damage pretty much misses. And that should allow you to do this for basically instant repair. If you drive perfectly, you should take no corrosive damage. You also want to make sure you give a chance for your UAVs, and if you have any ships, even just one at X1, they need to have a chance to go towards and hit the turrets so that they reduce their accuracy and reduce their damage. That is helpful if you wait for it before engaging the long-range missile turrets. Then, if you're ever missing something in the target, it's generally by these platforms right here. One of which just shot at me. You don't have to worry about that too much. As you saw, I could outrun most, if not all, the damage. And then stop, give it a minute to shoot at these missile turrets. Once those are shot at and their accuracy is debuffed, you can go ahead and kill them. They should only get one salvo off. Alright, that's the target. Let's go ahead and take a look at the battle report, the damage, and the build. Looks like a very tiny amount of corrosive damage, almost zero, with most of it being penetrative, a lot of which is evaded or shot down, which both show up under this green bar. Damage taken is 2 minutes and 45 seconds, which I'd say is pretty good. Here's the build I'm using. I have 4 back ships and the flag all built the same, but one ship does have 2 Missile Defense System 3 and therefore has dropped one of the missile projectile speed specials for an anti-missile accuracy special, the best one in the game. I of course will have this build in my builds document linked in the YouTube description, and I hope this has been helpful. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.